Hey there, beautiful souls. It's Steph Demetrius here. I'm so excited that you are here to join me and to sink into some musings about returning from hustle to harmony. And these words dropped in last week when I was in the middle of practicing that and figuring out how I'm doing that for myself, because I've really been feeling in a few areas of my life, mainly in my business, this hustle, where my mind goes, okay, you've got limited time, you've got to get this done, let's go, let's do more, you're not doing enough, you need to do this, you need to do that, and throwing all these things on top of what I'm already doing in quite a flowing manner. And I, started to buy into that last week, and it was really interesting just witnessing how my body felt. And it didn't feel good. So I just wanted to share with you a couple of the practices that I used for recognizing that hustle and then allowing myself to return back to harmony and this peace and flow and acceptance of where I am within all of that. So the first thing that I started to do was, as soon as I knew what my triggers were for being in hustle, I would just become aware and I would stop what I was doing. So if I was at the computer, I would stop and stand up. If I was on my phone making a social media post or about to text someone or whatever, and I was feeling in hustle, I would stop, put it down, and literally step away from the phone. And actually just remove myself from the situation and go, okay, my body doesn't feel good. I feel tight. I feel restricted. And then I really started to become conscious and recognize those feelings of hustle. And for me, they are my head going crazy and telling me, you're not doing enough. You need to do more. This is not okay. This is not enough. And this complete lackingness, not enough time. You've got to do all of this now. You've got to create the blog post now. You've got to make the podcast now. You've got to write the book now. You've got to grow the business now. You've got to see all the clients now. You've got to do the social media now. It's just like one thing after the other. My mind was going crazy. So I just stopped and witnessed that. In my body, I felt tense. I felt like I was clenching all my muscles. My breathing was shallow. I felt tension in my chest and in my heart and in my throat and just in my stomach, and my body just felt really, really tense. So the first step for me was just that awareness of, whoa, okay, looking at my arenas, looking at my emotional arena, what's happening there? I wasn't feeling that great because of the thoughts. Looking at my mental arena, the thoughts going crazy. Looking at my physical arena, the tension in my body. And then going in and looking at my energy as well and going, okay, let's just feel this and embody it and let it pass through. This is just a warning. It's my soul knocking on my body saying, hey, something's out of alignment here, and it's knocking through those physical sensations of tension. My soul's knocking through the crazy amounts of thoughts and the lacking thoughts. It's knocking through the crappy feeling emotions and the low mood and the getting frustrated. So that was step one for me, was acknowledging how I was feeling it. Step two was to step away, step out of that situation. If it's not work related for you, if you're at home with the kids maybe, and you're doing the dishes, you're doing stuff around the house, you're doing the folding of the clothes, step away from the clothes basket. If you are starting to feel like, I'm not doing enough as a mum, I'm not enough of a mum, I yell at my kids occasionally, I don't think I'm doing enough for them, your mind's telling you need to do more, you're not enough, step away from what you're doing and go and play. My step two in this little practice has been playing. I get on my hands and knees and play with the kids, or if the kids aren't around and I'm on a work day, I take my yoga mat to work and I take my shoes off and I take in some yoga pants and I jump on my yoga mat. I last week went and sat outside the clinic at work and I just watched the leaves blowing on the trees in the wind, and that became mesmerizing. I just found something really mindful to do. I made a cup of my favourite tea and I sat there and I drank it, and I really so finding some sort of mindfulness practice and getting a bit playful too. A beautiful oil for play is ylang ylang. It's the oil of the inner child, so let that inner child come out. Do something fun. Like for me, this creating this little audio is fun, because then I get to share my experience, and, you know, hopefully someone else will receive something from that. So act in service as well. Whenever you're feeling like you're in doubt of, you know, your head's telling you you're not enough, you're not doing enough, you're not being enough, you know, how can I serve the greater good? So yeah, step 2 is step away from what you are doing. Even if your mind tells you not to, your mind will probably tell you, but you need to do. What you really need to do in that moment is to step away and realign your energy and release this resistance. Like, feel the resistance, feel that tension in your body, feel the headache, feel the crazy running thoughts, and just feel them, be aware of them, and in a short amount of time they will shift purely with your awareness. And then do something fun. If you're in the office and you can't get out, or, you know, if you can't get out for a walk around the block, maybe if you've got some earphones, put on a fun podcast, or even a fun song, listen to a fun song. Or, you know, if you've got some essential oils there or crystals, grab those, or get up and just go for a walk around the office. Just move your body, just move, do something different, or start to daydream. The thing I've loved doing is starting to daydream. And not in terms of escapism from where I am, but just in terms of shifting my vibration. You know, our thoughts play such a big role in how we feel. If we're focusing on the negative ones, we're gonna feel that too. We're gonna embody that. So what if you daydreamed? What if you daydreamed about, you know, maybe about that holiday you want to go on, or about that women's circle you want to sit with, or about spending time with your best friends, or, you know, spending the day with your family, just immersing in them and playing with them. Daydream, because our thoughts create how we feel. So if you're focusing on the negative ones and you're feeling those negative emotions, I'm not saying it'll push those emotions away. I'm saying feel those negative emotions, let them move through you, but then change your thought projection and start to think about some stuff that makes you feel good. Just daydream and see what happens. So I've found that just this really simple practice of awareness and then play really shifted me from this hustle to harmony. And then what actually happened was things fell into place themselves. And this is a big part of the manifestation process, is that surrender. And when we're in play, we're surrendering to how things need to happen. So if you can become aware of your triggers and when you're not feeling great and when you're in the hustle, you can have some sort of play. When you're in that play and you're really in it, you're not just playing to pretend to play because it's a step to do. You're actually feeling the vibration of play. You're feeling that energy shift. You're feeling the lightness. It will feel lighter. It will feel like your body's more free. It will feel joyous. It will feel easy and flowy. Things will just start to happen. That person who you want to email you or contact you that you've been thinking about, they will take the initiative and they will do it. Or, you know, those clients will book in. They will just book in. They will just simply appear. I had this, last week I was in the clinic and I was just feeling really resistant. I was like, you know, I was having a quiet day in the clinic, which, you know, my mind started to resist. And then I just went, okay, I'm jumping on my yoga mat. Let's jump on the yoga mat. I got on the yoga mat and I put one of my favorite chants on, and I was kind of just like enjoying it in my room. And then I could hear one of the receptionists pick up the phone. And as soon as I shifted into that lightness, she picked up the phone and booked in a new client for me. And that's how quick this can happen. That's how quick your vibration changes things. And, you know, if I was constantly sitting in that space of I don't have enough, that lack, that's what I'm telling the universe, and I'm focusing on that. So that's expanding. Whereas I jumped on my mat, put on some music, started to feel good. Like I literally was on my mat for maybe 5 minutes, and this call came through for this new client that booked in. I was just like, wow, like I didn't let that synchronicity pass me by. I acknowledged it. I thanked the universe. And then it just, you know, kept happening more and more that day for the rest of the day, which was really amazing. Acknowledge it. When you see a synchronicity, when you shift your energy and something happens, acknowledge that. Don't just pass it off as some coincidence. Acknowledge it. The universe wants you to acknowledge that, because the more you acknowledge that, the more you will receive that too. You'll receive more synchronicities when you acknowledge them. You'll receive more synchronicities when you're aware of your energy and you come back into flow using tools like play and embodiment. So I'm going to leave it there. I hope that this supports you in some way. It's been just a really fun little experiment to play with the last week, and it's just my intention at the moment is to move from hustle to harmony. So I hope you enjoy that. Have a beautiful day. Lots of love. Mwah!